Good evening and welcome to LaBrae High School in Leavittsburg, Ohio for tonight's Division III District Semifinal volleyball match between the second-seeded Berkshire Badgers and the sixth-seeded Cardinal Huskies. This is Steve Hare with OhioVarsity.com, and joining me tonight is Tim Persick. Tim, I know you're as excited about this match as I am.
I am, and this is going to be an electric evening. Two arch rivals coming together. The seeding doesn't really much matter when these two play. It just promises to be a very lively matchup, and I'm looking forward to it. Yeah,
first off on that seeding, I'm not sure how Cardinal slid down to the sixth seed with the record that they've put together this year. They are 20-4 on the year. Berkshire comes in at 18-5. These two conference rivals have split their season series 1-1. Berkshire won at Cardinal back in September, and Cardinal returned the favor back at Berkshire in earlier this month in October. And so they are co-champions of the Chagrin Valley Conference Valley Division. It's the third straight title for the Huskies and the first for Berkshire since 2011. And so I know they want to come out and settle it on the court tonight, Tim.
Right, and what better way to do that with everything on the line? You know, winner advances, loser goes home, and this is the kind of venue. The crowd is electric right now. Everybody's amped up. The music's playing. The players are getting excited. This is going to be awesome.
Yeah, no doubt. And, you know, you talked about the atmosphere with Berkshire and Cardinal. It's always electric when these two teams get together. And like you said, we're in the district semifinals. The winner moves on to play Newton Falls on Wednesday, the top seed here. And what's really at stake, these two teams are no strangers to the district finals. I think over the past 7 or 8 years, it's been Cardinal and Berkshire and somebody else in the district finals, and it's usually Gilmore.
Yeah.
And neither of these teams have been able to get past Gilmore Academy. And now Gilmore moved out to the Elyria district, which left a big window for one of these teams to step up and do something they haven't been able to accomplish in the last decade. So that's what's at stake tonight. It's about redemption for the regular season, but it's much more than that. And I think you know a little bit about the Berkshire Badgers.
Yes, I do. I coached them for a year, a few years ago when many of the seniors were freshmen, and it was a very interesting transition year for the Berkshire Badgers. Great group of girls, and I see most of them on the court right now, so I'm a little bit excited to see how they do in this matchup today.
Yeah, I know a lot of that, the success they've had starts with Sydney Mighton. She's a senior, and she's probably one of the best hitters here in Northeast Ohio. I've gotten to see her quite a bit over the years, and this year in particular, she comes in with 260 kills. That's 3.8 per set this year, so she's definitely somebody that the Berkshire Badgers want to get started and somebody the Cardinal Huskies want to slow down.
Exactly. And it's going to be tough here. I think one of the keys to the game for either side is how they control the hitters, because if the hitters are swinging in open lanes, you're going to have a lot of thunderous hits here. And if the blockers can seal it off or at least direct the hitters into the defense, that's the best chance for either offense or either team really to shut down a powerful offense.
Right, and you talked about the block and getting in front of those hitters. That's something Kriska Chambers, the Cardinal coach, told me after the first match, is they had some trouble kind of shifting their block around to protect the, to stop the hitting. And so they got off to a little bit of a slow start. That helped Berkshire gain some momentum. And then Cardinal had a little bit more success with that in the middle of the match. They just ran out of points. And so the second time around, they were able to correct that, and they came out with the win. So it'll be interesting to see what both teams do tonight. Again, obviously Berkshire wants to feed its big hitter, and I know Cardinal's going to be looking to senior Caitlin Lashane, who comes in with 247 kills. So we've got two of the top hitters in Northeast Ohio facing off tonight, and I think it really is going to come down to who can stop it.
Yeah, and we have a very good angle to see that actually from this end of the court. When you watch this isn't always the way people watch volleyball games traditionally, but you'll see how much ground the middle blocker has to cover to get out to the outside to block, to shut down a hitter like Sydney Mighton, and then also how the quick middles can really disrupt that whole process. So whatever team could take advantage of that, I think they give themselves a leg up, and the earlier they can get that established, the better off they are for the match.
Oh, no question. And yeah, we've got about 40 seconds here until we get introductions coming up, and once that happens, we'll take a quick break. One thing I want to mention is I was here Monday through Thursday last week for the preliminary rounds of this district, and the crowd I think I could count on my fingers and toes. Tonight, it's going to be standing room only. They're packed in already. A lot of purple and gold, a lot of black and red, a lot of Halloween costumes as well. So it's going to be a big-time show here. I'm looking forward to it.
And a lot of solidarity here. I think there's a definite line in the audience where you go from purple and gold to red and black.
Yeah, I don't think you want to wear purple on that side of the gym, and you better not have any red over here. So
exactly.
Waving to some Berkshire fans over there. I'll go ahead and mention them. How are you there, Dingmans and Chapmans? All right, and there's our buzzer, so we're getting ready to get started here. We're going to let you guys tune in and listen to the starting lineups, and we'll be back with some game action here momentarily. Well, out of all the introductions I've seen over the course of this tournament, that was the best one.
That's right.
I think even the announcer feels the intensity between these two teams.
Well, he was doing a great job, and it certainly helps to convey the atmosphere here. All the people watching at home, they should not be eating anything that can stain their clothing, because there's going to be a lot of jumping up and down in this match.
That's for sure, but yeah, I expect to see a fast-paced match. I think both teams like to ramp up the tempo, and both offenses move very quickly. So I think we're going to see, the last game took just about an hour. I think this one might be a little bit longer,
right,
based on how many sets we play. But I think each individual set might be a little bit quicker, just the way these guys go.
It'll be interesting to see who establishes the middle hitting first, too, because the sooner that you can get the middle hitters to hold that middle blocker, the more likely your outside hitters are going to have a wide open hitting lane. So I think both teams are going to start off early trying to hit, set that middle hitter for that for a quick point here. But we'll see who can do it better and more often. I think that'll be a driving force.
See, that's why I brought you along. You're a volleyball aficionado.
Right.
Former Kent State men's team club team member.
That's right.
We won't mention the year because you're kind of getting old now, Tim.
Right. That's right. I'm definitely feeling it.
All right, folks, here we go. We got Jordan Schultz on the serve for the Huskies. Nice floating serve. Had a little bit of movement on it.
Yep.
Heck of a hit there by Sydney Mighton. And then Caitlin Lashane's turn. And she finds the floor. Caitlin Lashane gives the Huskies a 1-0 lead.
You brought up an interesting point about the movement on the ball. From this angle, you'll be able to see the floater actually float side to side.
Oh, yeah, you don't see that from the side view,
exactly.
But from this angle, yeah, I noticed that throughout the course of the week,
yeah,
that ball moves a heck of a lot more than you realize.
Right.
Oh, heck of a diving play there by Megan Ziegler to save that. It was a free ball for the Badgers, but I'll tell you what, it could have been a point. Oh, again, Megan Ziegler.
And another off-speed hit.
How about that?
An off-speed hit there again fools the Badgers defense. Gets them all climbing up on the inside thinking it's a tip, and then it goes a little bit deeper than they expected. It was a great hit.
Megan Ziegler with 2 incredible digs on that play. She has 331 digs coming into the match, so I would keep the ball away from her if I was the Berkshire Badgers.
That's right. And there's that middle hit that I was talking about earlier, this time on the backside of the setter. The setter generally lines up just to the right of center, and they run the entire offense, the quicks either in front or behind the setter, with all the slower shots to the outside. The quicks are there to hold the middle blocker if they can convince her that they're going to hit him.
Berkshire senior C.J. Parker with the serve. Huskies lead 2-1. Oh, there's a middle hit.
And there's a middle block. That's going to be key. If you can stop that middle, you can really take control of the game.
That was Madison Chapman on the hit for the Badgers, and a couple of Huskies in there. Haley Adams, who leads the Huskies with a whole handful of blocks. She's got 40 blocks, 41 now.
Ooh, that ball was going out. It's one of the difficulties in volleyball. You got to kind of know where you're at, and that ball was definitely heading out of bounds. But it's a split-second decision, and you got to take it. You got to be committed from the get-go.
You're right. Yeah, that hesitation could cost you a point, one way or the other. And sometimes you just got to bite the bullet and play that ball.
Right.
Lashane with a little dink over the top of Mia Monroe's block. And that ball goes off Jordan Schultz's arm, and that's a point for the Badgers, who now tied it up at 3-3.
Ooh. That was a wide open middle there. The middle blocker missed on that one.
That was Brianna Pennypacker on the serve for the Badgers. That's a point for the Huskies, though. They now lead 4-3. Haley Adams serving. She comes in with 35 aces on the year. And there's the power of Sydney Mighton.
A net violation, though. She overswung a little bit, clipped the net with her fingers. The ref's on top of that call. And the ref calls that serve in down the line. I didn't get a good look at that one.
Yeah, up here we lose that corner a little bit unless we hang out over the railing. You go ahead and do that, Tim.
Right. Can you grab my legs?
Oh, they did give it to the Badgers.
Oh. All right, sorry for the confusion there.
5-4. And now it's 6-4 Cardinal off that point. Caitlin Lashane on the serve. McKenna Tusick.
Oh,
great dig. Oh, wow.
And
a couple of great plays there. Caitlin Lashane with the lunging bump and the dig, but it went out of bounds. 7-4. Yeah, you see that ball just dive. That had a little knuckling action on it.
Absolutely. Oh,
Maddie Bean with the tip.
Looks like a back row. Oh, they called a lift on that one. Referee believed that the ball rolled off her hands there. It's a judgment call. There's no real way to argue that.
Madison Chapman serving, service error into the net. Those are the types of things that, those are going to happen in the course of a game, but you really hate to see them because you're giving up a point without the other team having to do anything.
Right. And
back to back.
Right. And for those of you new to volleyball, the players with the different colored jersey did not get their laundry wrong. They did that on purpose. Those are liberos, which are defensive specialists for each team.
Mia Monroe with the serve. Jordan Schultz tries to put it down on the floor, but Sydney Mighton was there.
Oh, good up. It's anybody's ball.
Oh, how about that? Nice play by the Badgers.
Yeah.
That was Jessica Conklin for Berkshire.
There's nearly a joust at the middle there is what they call it when both players have an equal chance at the ball over the net. Good up. Another tip. Oh, great up. To the corner, another great shot.
Jordan Schultz. Schultz came into the match with 144 kills. And I think over the second half of the season, she's just gotten a lot better.
Here's another one of those jump floaters. That floater, the knuckle action is just hard to get a handle on.
Free ball.
That was a smart play to keep the ball alive on an offset. Oh,
good up. There's Megan Ziegler again. We talked about her earlier.
Oh, just a little bit long.
Well, it's 9-8, Tim, midway through the first set, and I think we've seen a lot of what we talked about, what we expected in this match.
Yeah, and there's, you can see a lot of in and out of system plays. In system is basically when they're running and a lift called on that one. But when the hits are coming hard and fast, they're in system. When they're out of system is when the pass comes off the net and the setter has to, stand from 20 feet off the net. And I think Cardinals really got the upper hand in the out-of-system plays. They've had a lot of good shots by Schultz.
Yeah, I'll tell you, that first match at Cardinal, the one that Berkshire won, Cardinal had a look on its face throughout the match where they kind of expected things to go poorly. Yeah. I don't see that look tonight.
No, I don't think so.
That point withstanding, but Cardinal, they look confident. They're coming out. They're aggressive. They're hustling to the ball. They're making some plays. And then on the flip side, so is Berkshire.
Right. It's definitely a dead even match so far, which just makes it that much more exciting.
I think both teams believe that they should have been 2-0 against their rival, and instead they're 1-1, and they want to come out and prove it tonight.
A back row attack by Schultz.
Now, I don't want to put words into the Cardinal coach's mouth, Kriska Chambers. But anytime you can force Sydney Mighton to hit a ball that way as opposed to squaring up and pounding the thing, I think she'll take that 99 times out of 100.
That's right, and that's that's a big change of pace. When Sydney Mighton's swinging away, you're going to feel it for a couple days after if you get a dig on that. So that is a good thing, but just a little bit of disarray. Not a big deal. It's a 1-point difference at this point.
Yep, Berkshire's first lead of the match.
Yep. I think Cardinal just got to shore up some loose ends here, and they'll be back into it.
If you hear that clicking sound, that's my camera. I'm multitasking.
And if you hear a clicking sound on my end, I'm taking selfies of myself. I'm just kidding.
No, really, he is taking selfies. Oh, and here comes the crowd.
Yes. The Cardinals definitely brought a student section.
That they did.
I don't think their parents would recognize them in the costumes they're wearing, though.
I don't recognize them in the costumes. I see a Supergirl out there, a Superman.
C.J. Parker with a serve for Berkshire. The set to the outside, a split block. Oh, look at that. And it falls for Cardinal. Off the blocker.
That was a heck of a block, but you got to have somebody behind to make that play.
That's right. I know that from coaching the players, nobody likes to do those drills either because it's hard on the body to be diving for the ball like that. But you got to do it. Great pickup by Cardinal.
Nice play there.
Fantastic defense.
Oh, she carried.
Yeah, they called the lift on her. Held it in her hand a little bit too long.
And that point is huge for Berkshire because that took the serve out of Maddie Bean's hands. She leads the Huskies with 56 aces. So anytime you can keep the ball out of her hands at the service line, that's a good thing for the Badgers.
That's true. Oh, great up. Off the antenna, out of bounds.
I believe the play we just saw C.J. Parker make explains why she wears the libero jersey.
That's
defensive
right.
Specialist.
You have to be fearless on either side wearing a different color jersey. Everybody's hitting at you. You drive the defense or the offense to you because you're generally the best passer on the team.
Don't look now, but the Huskies have to lead again.
Right. That's a great tip. That's a tough spot for any player to pick that up. I mean, right inside the 10-foot line in that particular location.
You know, one thing I've noticed, Tim, is these girls are all over the floor.
Yeah, that's for sure. They don't have to clean the floor after this game. There's no dust left on it.
Both teams definitely hungry to move on to the district championships. Set a little bit short.
Oh, look at that.
Still made it over.
Look at the hustle. Both sides. Wow.
And McKenna Tusick. Oh, boy.
The referee called the lift. I think that in the ref's mind, that ball rested on her arms a little too much.
And I don't think she did it on purpose. There's just not a whole lot you can do in that situation.
Right.
Mighton with an ace.
And there again, you get to see from that angle how a ball dies when it's a float serve. Sydney Mighton hits with some velocity, but it's not a gentle serve by any stretch of the imagination.
No, you're right. Oh, and look at that one. That barely cleared the net and had so much movement on it.
They need to install turn signals on that one the way it's turning.
Bend it like Beckham, who's the volleyball player. Yeah, those are tough to field right there. Oh, there's the service error.
Now it's back to Cardinal to see what they can do with this.
Caitlin Lashane serving for the Huskies.
In a game like this, you're going to have a lot of this back and forth. Whoever has the fortitude to deal with it is going to have an advantage here. The back one, quick set. Ooh, he's got it.
McKenna Tusick just jumps out of the gym.
Right. That was a tough play. It was a great effort by not much you can do with a hit like that.
No.
Those are there are spaces on the court you're just not going to get to.
She gets up so high over the net. Oh, Madison Chapman with an ace.
Yeah. And again, from this angle, you see the right-hand turn that ball made on its flight.
Right. Yeah, this is the largest lead of the game. 4 points for the Badgers, 18-14. Cardinals got to regroup here. They've been a little bit out of sorts. I think that has a lot to do with what Berkshire's been able to do. They fed McKenna Tusick a couple of times.
And again, Cardinal can't be all that disappointed because, like as you pointed out earlier, Sydney Mighton's probably the most prolific hitter on the Berkshire side, and she hasn't been cutting loose with too many cannon shots. So there's a silver lining on this cloud, I think, for Cardinal if they can pull this out. They just need a couple of good passes here, a good set, and put the ball away. And if they can establish that middle, I didn't see too much in the middle yet. So if they can find a way to hold those middle blockers, keep them split, I think they're going to do a lot better.
Yeah, and on the flip side, I think they need to get Caitlin Lashane going a little bit.
Right.
But there's not a whole lot you can do when you get a serve like that.
Yep.
And you can't set your offense up. So that's the best way to keep the other opposing team's offense from getting going is to get an ace.
Yep. That one had a lot more spin on it, so it didn't move quite as much, and Cardinal was able to dig that up.
Nice dig by Ziegler.
That's right.
Bean tries to sneak one over the net. Tusick again. Wow, that is power there.
A frame that small is producing that much power. I mean, she's tall, but she's thin. And
that's leverage.
Right, I know. It's
Boy,
just something to see.
That's why Berkshire's so dangerous, is you have Sydney Mighton. You spend so much time trying to slow her down, and then McKenna Tusick comes out of there, and you see what she can produce.
And Maddie Beeden struggles to get that one. That was a tough one. She had to run 35 feet to get that one, and it's not easy when you're trying not to hit the net in the process.
Yeah, this is a run Cardinal has to stop.
Just a little bit of
hits that one just outside.
Right now, Cardinals having trouble putting that pass inside the 10-foot line so that Maddie Bean can, put it where it needs to go to set up an offense here. And some question about the scoreboard there.
Yeah, they were a point off. They think they got it now. 22-14, Berkshire. On a little run here. Cardinal at one point had I think it was a 13-12 lead.
And you can see on that pass, I don't think Maddie Bean had to move. And a good play off the block and out of bounds. That's the point for Cardinal.
That is. Now they've got to get Kaylee Klepper here to put some good serves over the net, set up the offense, and get back into this game.
That's right. Oh. Wow, way to keep it out of the net.
And that'll be 4, yep.
Yeah, almost had it. Sometimes you can get away with that first contact if the referee feels it was a block. But I think in that instance, the referee felt it was their first contact. Blocks generally don't count as a hit, but I believe you have to be hitting the ball to get that consideration. Schultz tips it deep. Oh, and McKenna just couldn't quite get it over the net there. I think the set was a little bit outside, out of her wheelhouse, so to speak, which is good for Cardinal because now they're back to serving.
Huskies are still in it. Megan Ziegler with the serve. She's another potent server for the Huskies. Hannah Treguy with a nice defensive play there, stayed in position. It's one of the things you have to be really focused on in a game like this, is you've got to stay in place.
That's right. Their setter dump got past the Cardinal defense. They got a bit of a hole in the middle there that they're trying to cover. Again, there's parts on the court that you're not going to be able to cover. You hope that your defense is positioned correctly to get it. In that instance, they weren't. And with that block, Berkshire takes a 1-0 lead in the set.
So, Tim, looking at that first set, obviously Berkshire's got things going offensively. What is it that Cardinal has to do to kind of regain some momentum and make their offense come to life?
Well, I think the first thing that I see, the most obvious thing, is the passing for Cardinal has been off the mark. The 10-foot line, the circle in the middle of the court there, you almost want it to be touching the circle when it comes down just to the right of center. And Maddie Bean has been chasing the ball pretty much beyond the 10-foot line and to each of the antennas. So I think if they can get a handle on their passing a little bit more, that gives her the opportunity to set the ball where it needs to be. And basically, that's the main part of the offense there. If you can get sets where they need to be, which starts with the pass, and every coach says it over and over again, starts with the pass. If they get that pass down right to the setter in the slot, the setter can run any part of the offense. Quick middles, outsides, back sets, even what they call 10 balls, which are to back row players who can't jump in front of the 10-foot line. So I think that that's probably it. I mean, I don't know if you've seen anything different. It looks like they're serving well. When they're getting the opportunities to hit, they're hitting well. It's just that they're out of sorts when the pass isn't where it needs to be.
Yeah, I think the main thing Cardinal has to do, besides everything you just mentioned, is keep their heads up.
Yeah.
They've been here before. Berkshire, won the first game, and Cardinal came back, back in October 8th it was, at Berkshire. Berkshire was up 2-1. Cardinal came back and won 2 straight sets. So I think that's what they've got to realize, is they're not out of anything. They can't let that one loss in that first set really affect them the rest of the way. They need to just come back, do what they do best, get their offense going, keep hustling on defense, and those good things will happen for them.
And to borrow a turn of phrase from Yogi Berra, 80% of the game is 90% mental. and that's exactly what I love about the sport, is that, even when you're down one game, you're certainly nowhere near out. And if you can rebound from that and, make something happen in the second game, Cardinal, is in a great position to win. I mean, I think that they are working hard, as we said before. They're hitting the floor, they're diving, they're running, everybody's talking, nobody's standing flat. So I think that this game is going to go a little bit differently.
Yeah, I think with the way Berkshire picked it up there in the middle of that first set, they started setting McKenna Tusick outside. Once they found out that Sydney Mighton wasn't getting the sets, the block was preventing that, preventing her from kind of stepping up on offense. So that's what Cardinal's got to adjust to, and we'll see if they can do it.
Yeah, and because Cardinal's out of system a lot, their outside hitters, which are generally their better ones, are going up against a double block, which just makes it harder for them. If they can get an offense going, get in system, they are going to, like that. That's a pretty good set. Their blockers are split now, and they're able to hit it. And so that's a great example of what we're talking about. There, you could have drove a train through that split in the block there. And that's more or less what she did. Wow, what a floater that was.
Yeah, there's Maddie Bean. Sarah Conklin with that little tip.
There you go.
There it is. Haley Adams.
And already we've seen it in 2 plays. They've started to establish the middle. Maybe we're on the lucky side of the court. I don't know. But you can see the confidence that they're playing with. They're just right back at it. They may be down 1 game, but they're certainly not out.
A lot of fight left in those Huskies.
That's right.
There's Mighton, finds the middle. Nice diving attempt by Megan Ziegler, but there's not a whole lot you can do with the speed of that ball.
And it was a broken play. It's kind of hard to read. I don't think Mighton was supposed to, it was either out of position or somebody else was supposed to hit that one. So she did a great job recovering on that play.
C.J. Parker serving for the Badgers. How does a left-handed server affect things?
Well, it depends. I mean, a lot of times it's the spin on the ball is different. If she uses a spin as a right-handed hitter, you're going to be able to spin it one way generally, because of the dynamics of your arm and wrist. Left-handed is going to be a little bit different, much like a pitcher throws might throw a curveball.
Just get a little different look for the defense.
Right. And the Badgers are struggling a little bit with the pass. And that was
double hit?
Yeah, double hit. Tough call, but I think the ref got it right on that one. It kind of slipped, I think, in her hand, in one of her hands a little bit. She's going to get called on that generally every time.
Brianna Pennypacker with the jump serve.
Handled well by Ziegler.
There's Caitlin Lashane, tricky dink there.
And I think that's her second dink for a kill there, and I think that they're trying to establish that early, get the Badgers to start creeping up on defense.
Right.
And as soon as they do, they'll cut loose
then
on
boom.
a couple big hits.
Yeah.
Oh. They called it. I believe they called number 5, Tricia Cesar, in the net.
Sydney Mighton serving for the Badgers, and she's got that dangerous serve. Let's see how the Huskies handle it this time around. Nice job. Nice dig there by Jordan Schultz. Kaylee Klepper, I'm sorry. Wow.
And there you could see the blocker from coming out of the middle was a little bit late, so there's a little bit of hole in the block, and McKenna just took advantage of that.
Right, and I'll tell you, anyone that thought that maybe Berkshire would take a step back after losing Sydney Mighton after this year, McKenna Tusik's got something to say about that.
That's right. I think she's going to carry the torch just fine.
Like what I see out of Madison Chapman, she's a tough little player. So yeah, Berkshire's young and plenty of talent.
That's right. It's a good dig there, sending it over. Great shot. Jordan Schultz has the shots down there. She's placing the ball more than hitting it, but it's a great technique. It keeps the defense guessing. Oh, great up.
Boy, nice volley going here.
And is that a stuff block by number 5, Tricia Cesar.
Cesar isn't the tallest girl on the court, but she gets up.
Right.
And she does have several blocks. She had a couple big ones against in their sectional championship match last week.
Well, that was Sydney Mighton she blocked, and even though it was a back row attack, that she was blocking, which is a little bit easier if you're in the right position.
Right.
She can take a lot of pride in that one because she put it straight back on the Badgers side of the court.
Service error. Again, we talked about that. Those are the things you hate to see in a district semifinal, district championship, these big games. You really want to make your opponent work for points, and
right.
Those service errors will kill you. Again, it's obviously the players aren't trying to do it. But
no. Well, and part of it is a balance between aggressiveness and in, and that was a fantastic float serve. We'll see it again here. That one had a little bit more spin on it, so it's a little easier to handle, but the previous serve was just dynamite. Right on the line.
Right.
Schultz, nice shot.
Just got that one in bounds.
She's not like a Sydney Mighton who's going to power the ball. She's just going to place it and tick the line every other shot,
right.
And as a defense that drives you crazy because you can never relax.
144 digs coming into the match. She's got a few tonight.
Badgers ran the stack, but it was picked up beautifully by Cardinal.
I think there was a passing error there.
A little bit of confusion on the pass there, but they did a great job picking up the stack where the Badgers feinted a quick set in the middle and set it to the outside to try and split the blockers, but Cardinal was all over it.
Boy.
That one sailed towards South America there, man.
Tell you what, McKenna, when you see her come from this side of the net, I mean, you just see how high up there she's getting.
Oh, yeah.
And then she's hitting on top of the ball. It's going almost straight down.
Tough serve again. Badgers just keep it in play there. Running the slide, and just a little bit
tip.
long. Oh, tip. The up ref called a tip on that one.
Yeah, I heard it, but I didn't quite see it.
Right.
But, that's one thing Haley Adams is so good at. She kind of circles around that right side.
That's right. They call it a backslide because generally the way the setter's standing up and she's approaching, you don't know if she's going to go for a back one, which is just right on the setter's backside, or if they're going to set it deep. In that case, she feints to the quick right behind the setter and then slides out to the outside in an effort to get the blockers to kind of run into each other or split up there. So
I learned something about volleyball tonight.
See,
Thanks, Tim.
You're welcome.
11-6, Huskies lead the Badgers here in the second set. Berkshire won the first set.
Another great floater, and you can see how hard it is for the passer to make a play on that. And again, Cardinals rewarded with a free ball and a pass right to the spot, to the slot. Berkshire's out of system, gives them another free ball.
That's what Cardinal needs to see. Oh, how about that?
It's great up.
Berkshire saves it.
And another one, wow. Cut shot there, played well. These teams are not giving up anything here.
No, they're not. Just when you think you make a play, they return it.
Oh, that was a tough play to judge. I mean, even from here, we have the same angle the players do, and it's kind of hard to see how deep that ball's coming. And gives you a sense of what it's like to be a player on the floor. And that one hit wide by Caitlin LaShane. Again, I think the Cardinal Huskies have to keep their spirits up here a little bit. Things are coming unraveled a little bit, but they, certainly can recover from this.
Oh, nice up.
Yeah.
Jordan Schultz with a great defensive play, and it turns into a kill by Caitlin LaShane.
And Caitlin LaShane hit it right off the outside hand of the blocker, which is known in volleyball as the tool shot. And it's one of the most effective shots, kill shots that you can have. Not much the defense can do about it. And they shut down that attempt at a back middle hit. Wow. And that was you could see the curve on that ball. That was not going to go
that's
where
unfair.
the defense, right? Checker for pine tar.
Yeah, that's a little bit unfair when you can do that to the ball.
Yeah. Well, that's all right. The Huskies get a good pass here. Look at that. Split block and a tip. Oh, great play by
More
Berkshire.
defense.
Right. There's no shortage of that. Oh.
Wow, Haley Adams.
Squeaks it through. That was a pretty big block.
That was the block was there.
Right.
Haley Adams found a crack in the block and put the ball right in between it.
I'm not actually sure how she did that. You got to check to see if that ball's inflated properly.
Tom Brady around.
Right.
Oh, nice defense. Unfortunately, a little bit short, but again, it's the hustle. Right. These girls are in it to win it.
That's right.
Both sides.
They're certainly not leaving anything on the court right now. Still anybody's game. Nice cross-court shot, but a dig by McKenna. And another block in the middle. Cesar with yet another stop. I don't know if it was all her or half her and half the net, but still.
She gets the credit.
She gets the credit, right?
The net doesn't collect stats.
Right. And the equipment's expensive, so you may as well use it.
Oh, that was a little tricky. She brought the left arm up and used the right.
Yep, great dig.
Oh, Cesar tried to punch one out into the corner.
There.
Oh, she didn't get the ball at the top of the flight.
And the block was ready for her there. That was a tough break, but that's what volleyball is. It's a bunch of tough breaks followed by some glorious moments where the ball goes exactly where you want it to. It's a tough serve, hard to handle. Both teams working the tips. Off the block and high.
Yeah, you mentioned the tips, and I think that has a lot to do with both teams respecting the other team's hit and block. Right. So, you come in expecting them to do a lot of the hitting, and you're going to get up at the net and try and block. So to counter that, you bring the little dinks. And
yep, and it keeps the defense off balance. A little miscommunication in the backcourt by the Huskies.
Resulted in an ace for Sydney Mighton.
That's right. And they take a timeout just to kind of take a deep breath here and make and see what they can put together. I don't know if you know this, Steve, but of course everybody knows that volleyball was invented at the turn of last century, late 1800s actually, in Holyoke, Massachusetts. Do you know which sport it was designed to be an alternative for?
I've got to say basketball.
That's right. You're a smart man. Basketball was considered too rough of a sport at the YMCA at Holyoke, Massachusetts, so they tried to invent a new game where there was less physical contact. Something else that's interesting about volleyball that I bet you didn't know, that dribbling was part of the original rules. I can't imagine how that would fit in here.
You only get 3 hits, but you can dribble.
I was actually in Holyoke, Massachusetts. There's a museum and a Hall of Fame, and while I was standing there, I was in the Hall of Fame for volleyball, so that's what I like to tell people. But
did you take a selfie?
Yes, I did.
All right.
But
so it lives on in forever.
Right.
You were in the Hall of Fame.
That's right.
Oh, there's a service error.
And I read the whole description about the dribbling, and I still have no idea how they fit into the game.
Did they have video back then?
No, it was.
And there's a serve reception error. Kaylee Klepper with a point for the Huskies.
Good hustle on the part by Mighton there to try and just get a hand on it. Almost
Huskies
sliding out the exit there.
Back up 16-13. Back up by 3.
Nice powerful serve. It's hard to handle for the passers. You know, you have this mix between power and the movement of a floater. There again, Schultz trying to use the blocker. McKenna returns the favor.
It's almost like slow motion when she goes up. You just kind of watch and...
Well, it takes a while to get to that altitude, right?
It does. Bet her ears pop.
Right.
16-14.
Off-speed serve there. Schultz puts the shot
she found the line.
Right on the
yes,
line.
Yes,
there is.
The Badger faithful doesn't like it. The Husky faithful does.
Right.
Imagine that.
You know, the refs are either really good or really bad depending on where you're sitting.
Right.
Another jump floater. Great job by Ziegler. The overpass picked up by Berkshire. They're setting it up to McKenna.
Whoa, nice dig. Caitlin Lashane. Jordan Schultz and Maddie Bean fighting for the ball.
Again,
they get it over.
That ball where it needs to be, and now they
Haley
can run
Adams.
the middle. What a difference it makes to pass it into that circle.
Nice block there by Maddie Bean, saved by Jordan Schultz.
Miscommunication there, but that's all
Free
right. The
ball.
ball's still alive.
That it is. Okay, back row, Sydney Mighton, and she finds the corner.
And again, she has so much spin on that ball, and the off speed on that, you know, it's really hard to read from the player's perspective. You know, is that ball going long? Is it going short? And she just has command of that ball, and it makes it hard for any player to read that.
Mia Monroe with the serve for Berkshire.
Great. Oh, what a cut. Saved by Sydney Mighton.
Another back row hit for Mighton. Schultz is there. Lashane pops it back up to Schultz, and here we go. Oh, nice dig by Ziegler.
Maddie Bean.
I'm going to have to keep going back to Ziegler's defense. 334 digs coming in.
And a net double hit. They call double hit on Berkshire. It's a break for Cardinal. Not that they needed one, but that's certainly helps.
18-15, Huskies up. Jordan Schultz on the serve, just clears the net.
And they're going to call lift on Berkshire setter Mia Monroe. She really has a tough play to make against the net there. She's got to face the net, and the ball, you know, is coming at her almost from behind, and she's got to look up over her shoulder to set that. It's not going to go your way every time, but she certainly made a good effort there.
19-15, Cardinal up, trailing one set.
And you can see, you know, how a game like this with two teams so evenly matched and such bitter rivals, how, you know, it's just a seesaw match back and forth, and it's going to be the one who can handle all this pressure. I mean, there's no doubt that the girls on the court are feeling like, the center of the world right now and everything resting on their shoulders.
Yeah, well, one thing's for sure, it's going to be a long night. It's going to, their conditioning is going to come into play.
That's right.
Each team's going to score a lot of points. They're going to be on the court a long time tonight, and it's going to come down to who can overcome all the obstacles that the other team gives them, and also that when their mind is starting to say, "Hey, I'm kind of tired," they need to overcome that and that mental toughness.
That's right, and that's not as easy as it sounds to do. Like a lot of people think that it's just a matter of telling yourself that, but you really have to change the way your body functions in some respects, because when you're tired, the last thing your body wants to do is move.
Yeah,
much less
keep
quickly.
Jumping and diving and all those things.
Right.
But you don't react as quickly as you normally do, so your instincts kind of are affected as well.
Yeah. Again, they're just trading shots here. Ooh, all the way to the line. C.J. Parker maybe with a gift there for the Huskies.
Yeah, I think so. But it's one of those things we talked about. On the court, you just can't tell.
Right. And you play it just like she did on that one, because once, it helps the defensive player stay in rhythm too if they just dig one after another.
Heck of a volley. Badgers come out with the point.
And the Badger faithful respond.
Boy, I don't know who's doing it, but on my ScoreStream app, you can give a cheer to your favorite team. Right now, Berkshire's leading in that department, 1,859 to 922.
Wow.
So there are some ScoreStream fans out there.
Somebody's going to have a sore finger tomorrow.
No doubt.
Great defense by Berkshire there to keep that ball in play. And LaShane on a tough set. She's off the net. She can't take a full approach and has to try and cut it short because the defense was all the way back in the back court there. That was really her only shot, and it's a tough one to hit from 10 feet off the court. So it was the right idea, just couldn't quite execute.
Tusick on the serve. Oh, those are so tough to play when you...
That's right.
It's just like she drew it up, though. Hit the top of the net and make it dive.
Right. Good play on defense there.
Oh, LaShane with some good body control. That serve went a little bit farther outside than I think she initially thought.
Great block.
She still recovered to make the play.
And, even when the... Oh, there we go. I was just going to say, even on these broken plays or when the Huskies or the Badgers, knife one through, the players are just giving it everything they got to get to that ball and keep it in play.
Oh, the service error.
Again, she's trying to, tick the top of the tape to call it the $1 million serve, because if you hit that tape and it drops over, if you could bottle that, you'd be a millionaire. But that's, every server wants to, have some success in that regard.
Back to Parker on the serve.
Again, the serve.
Oh, and there's Caitlin LaShane.
She was standing right in the center of the court, basically on that V where every setter wants to receive it. She took 2 steps, got under that ball, set it perfectly. It looked like a 2-ball in the middle, and the Huskies put that ball down right on the line. Nothing the Badgers could do to stop that.
I think that's only her second or third perfect serve or perfect set right in front of her. And
right.
If you can get a few more of those to Caitlin LaShane, it'd be a good thing for the Cardinal Huskies.
Mia Monroe with the one-arm bandit there, trying to pop it up into play, but sometimes when you take a stab at it like that, it sends it off to the side, and that's really a tough play. There's not much you can do about it, and like every player here is just trying to keep that ball alive. Great set to the outside, good cut shot.
Nice tip, that helped the Huskies out right there.
Yeah.
Chapman tries to sneak one through.
Oh, tough play. Great shot by LaShane there. A lot of times on defense, the center of the court, the defense will give that away because they anticipate a blocker, jumping in front of the hitter. On that one, it was a busted play, and the Badger defense just didn't have enough bodies in the right places to cover that middle. But they return it in kind with a tip deep.
Is that Conklin, I think, that snuck that one back in the corner?
I believe it was.
Yes. Jessica Conklin, senior. 23-19. We got Brianna Pennypacker serving for the Badgers. She's got 33 aces coming into the match tonight. Oh, there's a little bit of an error.
That's again, a jump floater or a floater anyway, you want to have as little spin as possible. She had a little spin on that, but it's still dancing around for her. So that's, tremendous on her part, and it's hard for passers to get it. You can kind of see it from this angle, how it still moves around despite the spin on the ball.
Right. And they come off the arms a little bit differently, too, because of all the movement in there. I'm not sure the Huskies like that call.
Double hit, and basically they were saying that LaShane passed it from one hand to the other, even if it was a momentary, motion like that. It was a double hit.
We got a Berkshire fan doing a hand walk across the baseline. Unfortunately, you can't see him, but the crowd is definitely into it tonight. It's a packed house out here at LaBrae. Berkshire leading 1-0. Here we are in the second set with the Huskies up 23-21, looking to finish this one off to tie the match. The winner advances to play Newton Falls in the Division III LaBrae District Championship match on Wednesday at 7 p.m.
And there's definitely not anybody who has command and control of this entire match yet. I mean, it's a seesaw battle. Cardinal came up short the first set. They're holding on to a lead right now. We'll see how it goes. And she uses it off the side, off of the outside blocker's outside hand. And again, as a defender, even if you're on that line, it's very difficult to play that ball.
So here we go. Can Cardinal finish it off? 24-21. LaShane with the serve.
Another floater gets CJ moving to the side there. CJ Parker. An overpass. And you just can't give one like that to Sydney Mighton.
No, you can't.
And really, ironically, that's the first big hitch that she had this whole match so far.
You're right.
So that could be a bad omen if she's going to start, getting loosened up.
And just like in baseball, where you get somebody that makes a great play, they come up to bat in the next half inning. And so here we go.
Again, the Badgers, placed that one perfectly right to the line. They forced the defender to make a decision, and you have, just a fraction of a second to make that decision.
Cardinal trying to put this one away, but the Badgers got another thing coming.
Both teams are trying not to make a mistake here. They're playing very conservatively.
And there's the carry.
And the ref calls lift on that and basically gives the game to the Huskies, which is a good break for the Huskies. And just so everybody watching at home is clear, you're allowed to hit with an open hand and basically grab the ball as long as you are on top of the ball. If you're coming up underneath it and picking it up and, in a motion that's very much like the call implies, a lift, you're going to get called on that a lot more than it's going to be let go. So it's a tough play for the hitters because, the set might not have been perfectly there, but definitely a break for the Huskies.
And we're tied, 1-1.
We're tied.
Not that we didn't expect this to be intense. We certainly expected it to go back and forth, and it's living up to the billing. It's 1-1.
That's right.
I think the Newton Falls fans have seen enough. They're both heading to the exits now.
I think they're getting a hot dog. They're going to be back here to watch the rest of this one. It's a fantastic match.
There's a famous face in the crowd. Caitlin Bean, former Cardinal Husky, now playing at Ashland.
And there's a few from both sides that are former players that have seen this rivalry over the last couple of decades, keeping it going. It's much like the Browns and the Steelers, but I preface that by saying when the Browns were actually pretty good.
When was that?
That would have been when you and I were much younger. But
I remember a playoff game in the 80s. I think that was a pretty good one.
Yeah.
Bernie Kosar with I think it was an overtime win over the Jets. I think that's probably the last good game I've seen the Browns play.
Right, you and me both.
And that's being kind.
Right, but unlike that rivalry, both Cardinal and Berkshire have had awesome teams over the years, and they've kept it close. And in reality, it doesn't matter, what the situation is. I mean, this is a playoff game. This is for all the marbles. They're going to be playing a lot harder. it seems like every time these teams get together, it's going to be an all-out battle. So
that it is. And while we got a break here, I want to thank some of our sponsors who make our live streams possible. Scorestream.com. You got to check out the app. It's my favorite sports app, and I'm not just saying that. You can send some video, photos, keep your fans updated with in-game scores. So check out the Scorestream app. Obviously, OhioVarsity.com. We make this all happen. Ward's Lawn Care and Landscape Company. A good friend of mine from high school, George Ward, runs a great lawn care company. Sponsors our weekly Player of the Week program that we have. And then also Athletic Performance Training Center. Brian Lebo out there does a great job. He's on the west side, but he does a lot of work with a lot of professional high school and college athletes. So check him out online. And we're getting ready to start game 3. All tied up 1-1. Berkshire went on a run in the first set and pulled away from the Huskies. The second set was pretty much close throughout. I think the biggest lead was 4 points.
And the Huskies kind of returned the favor towards the end of the game, pulling ahead by that 4 points and kind of holding the Badgers at bay. Again, going back that they're both sides are playing very conservatively. They're respecting each other's hitters. If one of these sides starts to loosen up and starts to really hit the ball, I think we're in for one heck of a match. Back row attack.
Oh, Jordan Schultz with a nice diving dig.
Yep.
Caitlin Shane, just outside that baseline.
That was a great pickup by the Huskies. That was that back row attack had me fooled. They did a switch in the front row, made it look like the right side of the court was wide open, that there wasn't going to be a hitter there. And McKenna Tusick came sliding to the outside there, right over the 10-foot line, and put that one down. But the Huskies were able to pick it up like it was a regular old play.
There's former Cardinal coach Lisa Shirky out in the crowd. She won back-to-back league titles with the Huskies.
Oh, great tip, but a pickup by the...
Nice block by LaShane. Conklin recovers. And Mighton just out of play.
Great eye by Jordan Schultz. I mean, that again, there is that one play where you have to make a decision in half a second, if not a smaller time frame. And she has to...
yeah, she made the right decision.
That's right.
See Coach Dayer up there, assistant coach for the Cardinal soccer team. Coach Cummins, the basketball coach at Cardinal.
LaShane with the cut shot. Almost had everybody fooled on the Berkshire side, but Sydney Mighton was there to scoop it up.
Did they call that in or out? I thought the near line judge called it in. It was definitely out from our vantage point.
I think the down ref overruled the line judge on that one.
Gotcha.
And it's a tough play for the line judge with all the action on the court. The call again going the Huskies' way, and it looks like a double hit on the center knee in the row. An overpass by Tusick.
Oh, LaShane got some air, and she just couldn't get that over the net.
It was a great set for LaShane, except I think she jumped a little bit early and couldn't quite climb the ladder to get that one and put it down. She was definitely trying to tip it to the middle where the blocker came from, which was the right play to make, but just couldn't quite get up high enough. Some substitutions.
See Kayla Byler out there in the crowd, former Berkshire great, both at volleyball and basketball.
Another great jump floater. Again, you can see it looks like that, the libero, Ziegler, is just standing still waiting for that ball to come, but it's really, her brain is working a mile a minute trying to decide where it's going. And it's always easier from the side to make that assessment that somehow it's an easy serve, but even at a slower speed, that ball's dancing all over the place.
Well, that's why a knuckleballer like Tom Candiotti had so much longevity in Major League Baseball, because that is tough to hit.
Right.
And
you're not showing your age by saying that.
It was an old baseball card I read.
Right.
Real old baseball. Nice hit by LaShane. Dig nicely by Tusick.
And the rebuke by the Huskies.
Boy. They're both dishing it out, and they're both taking it very well.
Right.
Two great teams going head-to-head. Oh, Jordan Schultz with the dig. Oh! Does it have enough? It did have enough! Oh, boy, what a play.
What an up, and, you know, Sydney did the right play. Sydney Mighton there. Just throw it back because everybody's laying on their belly trying to get that ball up, but what a fantastic play by the Huskies.
That's like the lob in tennis.
Right.
Kind of gives you time to recover, too. Everyone's out of position, but
that's right.
Yeah, that fell in there nicely. Badgers up 5-3. Tied match, 1-1.
It's still, you know, anybody's game at this point. Both teams showing tremendous resilience.
Third set here, Tim. We've seen them now. We've seen about 100 points. What has stood out to you tonight?
Well, the passing is getting better for the Huskies the longer they play. I think both teams are kind of conservative. Nobody really wants to take a huge chance on a big hit or you know, cutting loose. You know, they're swinging and all that stuff. But I think you're going to start to see that happening. People are going to try and swing for the fences a little, and you know, if the Huskies can pull that off, that's going to be a bonus for them. A lot of tipping going on, I guess, is the best way to say it. But the blocking is there, too. There you saw Sydney Mighton get rebuked by the Huskies. Miscommunication there. On that play, I believe Bean, the setter for the Huskies, is on playing defense in the back right, and when she's got to get the second ball, she can't get the first ball, and there's a little confusion between her and the middle hitter, or middle back player, sorry. What a hit. Wow.
She got all of that one.
I think Mighton was just defending herself there. Free ball back to the Badgers.
Boy, two of the biggest hits you'll see in the same play.
In the same play, right. I think it was, that was LaShane hitting for the Huskies, and I think she just had the misfortune of almost hitting Sydney Mighton in the face with that ball. And so the natural reaction is to defend yourself, and it just happened to be where it needed to be for the Badgers. Good up by Ziegler. LaShane using all the equipment, the blocker, and then still putting it in.
Yeah, you know, I think it looks like LaShane and Sydney Mighton for Berkshire are really gearing up now. They're starting to wind up. They're hitting the ball a little bit harder, kind of getting that confidence.
Yep. And the defenses are really making the difference here. They're picking up a lot of the tips, and there's yet another one.
Oh.
LaShane trying to get too quick on the set over. Again, it's the referee feeling that she's holding on to the ball.
Right.
Yeah. It's a judgment call by the referee, so there's no way to appeal that other than to shrug your shoulders and
move on.
And move on, right. Oh, great save.
Jeez. But yeah, that's that serve. Oh, Madison Chapman puts it down.
She was definitely ahead of the Huskies block. The Huskies were standing flat-footed there when she came up.
Yeah, that was quick. I think maybe Cardinal was playing the higher ball, and that was right there at the top of the net.
Yep, and the Badgers are starting to pick up the pace a little bit here. Let's see if the Huskies can return the favor.
Yeah, Mighton's definitely feeling her groove right now.
The Huskies are going to have to do something about that. I think they're struggling a little bit with it. The Badgers mixing it up, moving it from the middle to the outside, even taking some back row attacks there, which is really making it hard for the Huskies to set up their defense. Great pass there. And again, off the outside hand of the blocker. That's a great shot.
It almost looked like she swung and missed at that, but she got just enough of it.
Hey, she'll tell you until the day she does.
She hammered it, yeah. I got all of that ball. What are you talking about?
Yeah. She put it right where it needed to be.
Oh.
Little pinball action off the block. Not much defense can do that. The Badgers are really swinging hard. If the Huskies can close that block, that ball's going to come down just as hard on the Badger side, and so they got to keep working at it.
Chapman, service error.
Long, yeah.
But boy, when she's on, that serve is very difficult to return.
She's still a little juiced from the hit on the prior point.
I think so. Oh, boy.
Again, off the block. Keeping the scorer's table alive over there. It looked like they were getting, distracted.
Boy.
That got them back into the game. But again, they run that empty middle where it looks like nobody's going to be there, and then somebody comes flying in from the outside. In that case, it was Miss Tusick. And Schultz unlucky with the roll shot there.
Berkshire goes up 13-6. Cardinal calls timeout. It's a good timeout.
Yep.
You're getting in danger of letting Berkshire run away with this set.
I think they really, Huskies really have to start putting it together. Again, their passes are starting to get erratic. Maddie Bean is trying to set from all areas on the court, and it's really hard to set a middle and a quick outside and keep the blockers honest. The whole purpose of a middle hit is to keep them from the middle blocker getting to the outside to help. And so you run a couple of quick middles to keep that blocker focused on the middle. And then you run some to the outside, and that blocker has to wait to make sure it's not being set in the middle before she goes outside to help. And with that, it opens the hitting lanes up for the Huskies' big hitters to really unload on the Badgers. But it all starts with the pass, and I think that's where Huskies are struggling a little bit now. But again, this is volleyball. The only score that matters is the one at the end of the game. And so they could pull it off here.
Mia Monroe with the serve. Cardinal played it well.
Again,
got their offense set up. Back row hit by LaShane. Conklin.
And it's up. Great job. That's what you like to see. You don't want to just give them a free ball. You want to put a little something on it.
Oh, boy. I'll tell you what. She's young. She's going to be around a while. She's a sophomore.
Man, if she puts 2 more inches on the vertical, we're going to have to raise the ceiling.
Wow.
Great pass there. And Schultz
there's
with the block.
And that's what Cardinal needs right there. Is they need to make some plays like that to gain some confidence, slow Berkshire down.
That's right. And they don't have to hit it as hard as Tusick's been hitting it. They just have to get the ball to the floor, either off the outside blocker like they did a few times,
right,
or right there, just splitting a block. A lot of play at the net. It's kind of hard to see.
I don't agree with that one.
Yeah, I'm not sure I would either.
And I don't know who it was. Conklin, I think, kind of dragged the ball a little bit, getting it over the net.
Right.
I thought they would have called that one the way he's been calling the carry.
That's right. Wow, that ball, excuse me. That ball took a right-hand turn all of a sudden at the end there.
Got my score on ScoreStream wrong. It's 16-7. Now Cardinal is really in jeopardy of putting themselves into a deep hole.
That's right.
2-1's tough. I mean, hey, 2 weeks ago they came back from 2-1 at Berkshire.
I think that they are, by no means out of it. I just think that they're in a little bit of a funk right now where they have to get out of it. They're, again, Bean trying to set the middle, but she hasn't had a pass that can really be set effectively to the middle.
Right, that's coming off the, Berkshire serving is very tough.
That's right.
They've got a lot of movement on the ball, and
they're mixing it up short, long, left, right. The same person's not necessarily getting it 2 in a row, which really messes with the passer's rhythm.
Yeah, and there's some movement there. Nice serve by Schultz.
That's what I talked about earlier. If you're holding the ball long enough to sign it, and you're going to get called on that.
Yeah. At least they're starting to get a little consistent with it. I think they've called it fairly on both teams.
I agree.
I don't know that anyone's really got a complaint.
They do at the time, but overall it's been pretty fair.
Right.
Tough play. And there's the experience of a senior, knowing that she can't wail away on the ball when she's got a set that's off the net and she's falling backwards. She just puts enough spin on it, even though it hit the blocker, and the blockers were where they needed to be. The spin kind of threw it in a weird way over the net to the defense. Whoa. Good eye by Schultz on that
Definitely.
one.
Well, here the Huskies need to go on a little run. You got one of your best servers up there, Maddie Bean. She leads the team with 56 aces. They got to go on a run here.
Yep. But, with passing like that, it's going to be difficult. But look at that dig by Schultz setting up the... Again, the off-speed to the middle.
Boy, that's tough to play.
Yeah, when both blockers commit to blocking because they respect Sydney Mighton that much, that leaves a gaping hole in the middle, and it's very difficult to cover because as a defender, you don't want to abandon your spot to cover that, because if it goes to your spot, then you're in a bit of a pickle there.
Oh, Adams goes a little bit too wide.
Yeah,
20-10 Berkshire.
I don't think the set went where she was expecting it to be, and it's not necessarily a fault of Bean. Again, she's chasing that ball all over the court, doing a heck of a job staying with it. To the middle. Oh.
Nice defense, but they can't get it over the net.
Well, a lift on that one, and rightfully so. She should really square her shoulders up to the net and just send it over.
So here you have Haley Adams serving for Cardinal. Cardinal in a big hole here, 20-11. Oh, boy.
Schultz really trying to get that one with her hands, and you understand why, because if you can catch it right, it's going to be a great play. But that one just slipped through. McKenna Tusick is just slicing and dicing these blockers, and it's not all big hits here. A lot of them are off speed, and again, what I was saying earlier, when they are able to mix up the speed and the velocity of their hits and the placement of it, it's very difficult for the defense to set up around that.
Cardinal certainly not out of this one. They can come back, but 22-11, it's very, very difficult.
Yep. Great up.
Chapman with
an even better set.
Wow. How about that? How's that for stealing a point?
Right, there you go. I mean, but that's what it's going to take. You gotta play till the end, and that's a fantastic illustration.
Yeah, Chapman pulled one over on Cardinal. She tipped it over the net, but great defense to get it up, and then they finish it off with a kill.
And Schultz with the block. Sends that overpass right back where it came from.
So you got one of your best servers at the line, and Caitlin Lashane. You're down 9. I mean, I think if you can get it to 15-16.
Definitely want to build some kind of a string of points here, but
wow, it's tough to do when you got a McKenna Tusick on the other side.
Yep. I mean, you said it earlier, it seems like it slows down or it goes into slow motion, but in reality, she's still moving at a very quick pace, and you can see the blockers were a little bit late on that one. It's a tough play any way you slice it, and she took advantage of the opening in the block.
Kaylee Klepper didn't quite make it over.
Nope. They called 4 hits. It looked like it might have touched the blocker, but the ref didn't think so. So we'll see how this works. Game point here for the Badgers.
Boy, what do you do on that one?
That's the $1 million serve again. When it hits the tape like that, everybody's kind of committed to where they're going to go to dig that ball, and floating serve is hard enough to pass. When it hits something and changes direction like that, there's not much you can do.
The Huskies are now in familiar territory. 2 weeks ago at Berkshire, they were down 2-1, left for dead. Their third conference championship was almost out of reach. And somehow, some way, they came back and won the 4th set to tie it, and they pulled it out in the 5th set.
That's right, and really the Badgers here can't let off the gas at all, because I think if you give the Huskies any chance whatsoever to get back in this game, it'll be 2-2 by the end of this set.
No question.
And I think that right now the coaches are both making sure that everybody's knows where they're at, what the situation is, and how they can improve. And I think for the Huskies, the biggest thing they need to do is just improve those passes. Yeah,
they're going to have to get off to a fast start this game. They can't let themselves get into a hole.
And if they do, they have to keep fighting their way out of it. I mean, they fought in the first game to hold the Badgers back, and then and so they just got to stay confident. I mean, they've beaten the Badgers before. I know that this is a different venue, a different time. Both teams are dialed in. I think they just got to stay confident and
yeah, work. The difference tonight in Berkshire taking that 2-1 lead. When Cardinal went on runs, Berkshire was able to bring it back and cut the lead, and never really let Cardinal get that far out in front in that second game. And that's what Cardinal has to do here. Is if they fall behind, they can't let it get to 2 and 3 and 4 points. Because it's just going to roll downhill from there. They need to keep it at 1 or 2 so that they're always in it back and forth.
Right, and with Tusick heating up on the outside there, it's going to only get harder for the Huskies to slow her down and to keep her in check. However, 1 or 2 good blocks on the outside there can change the complexion of the game. It could get Tusick thinking about where she's hitting and how hard and all that stuff, which sometimes is enough to throw a player off,
Right, yeah, I think you're going to see Cardinal slide their block over a little bit, take away that outside, and then Berkshire's going to start to set the middle again to Sidney Meighton, and you got to pick your poison here if you're Cardinal.
But I would take Huskies, I would say, would rather have somebody hitting out of middle because that's harder to coordinate than hitting on the left side. But if they set their blocks out wider, that'll force Tusick to hit cross court right into their libero, Ziegler, which is why she's there in the first place, to take the hard angle away from their big hitters to keep them in the game. But again, the passing is the key to this the outcome of this game, basically.
We talked earlier before the match about how well the teams know each other. The coaches are pretty well known to each other as well. Kariska Chambers at Cardinal, she played at Newberry. And then you have Jessica Roniak there from Berkshire, a Berkshire graduate. So, they've gone head-to-head.
And this has to be fun for them, too,
No doubt. 10 years ago, I bet they never thought they'd be coaching against each other.
Right.
And here we go. Tusick with the first serve of the fourth game.
Little misdirection, and they called under the net on the Berkshire Badgers. Your foot cannot pass over the center line completely. If you do, you'll be called for passing under the net. And that's exactly what the ref thought he saw. There's another $1 million serve played by Berkshire.
Set was off a little bit. Haley Adams had an opportunity.
Tough break. The blockers were in the right spot. I think, they just turned themselves a little bit, in hustling to get to where they needed to be to stop that hit by Sidney Meighton. And it just went off their hands funny, but that's they're where they need to be. They just got to keep that ball on Berkshire's side.
Boy, the fans are having some fun on Score Stream. Right now, Berkshire leads in the like department with 4,249. Cardinal has 3,459. So whoever's doing that, boy, your thumbs are going to hurt later. Oh, what a nice job there, Maddie Bean. Got the block, but it went out of bounds.
Cesar was where she needed to be again, and it just the hands were facing out of bounds, and that's exactly where it went off the hands and out of bounds.
If you lined up Tricia Cesar and Sidney Meighton across from each other and said, hey, who's going to win that one-on-one battle?
Right.
You'd always say Sidney Meighton's going to get the best of her because just the size. But Tricia Cesar has held her own tonight.
There's Schultz with another one of those placement shots that, is so hard to handle. She's got command and control of that. But I think you're right. I think Sidney Meighton is not on the winning end of that duel yet. Or if she is, it's not by much. Tusick, however, is
found. Yeah, if we were to award a player of the match right now, McKenna Tusick has my vote.
Yeah.
She's just been so powerful at the net.
And she's just mixing it up, front row, back row, left, right, Schultz playing it off the block.
Got the
Very
tip.
good shot. Again, you know, you don't have to hit like McKenna Tusick or Sydney Mighton to be effective. You just have to place the ball where it needs to be. And with that roll shot, there's a lot of spin on it. It hits the block and it goes every which way, and it's very difficult to play for the defense.
Kind of like my golf game.
Right, exactly. Except she's keeping it within the court that she's playing on.
Well, I always thought in golf that the object is to get your money's worth. I mean, why do I want to go in there and shoot a 65? That's only 65 times to swing the club.
I don't think what you play they call golf. I think that's more like polo.
Without the horse.
Right, exactly. Huskies again come out on that. The Badgers not able to handle the errant pass.
Oh, we finally got the Cardinal student section up on its feet.
Oh, look out.
5-4, Huskies lead.
A little bit of a high tip from Sydney Mighton. Again, that's gravy for the Huskies because you don't want her swinging. Great up. Another great up.
Oh, Sarah Conklin with the finish.
The hustle on the Husky side to get to that ball is just incredible. It's just not enough.
Yep. The effort is there.
That's right.
No question. Both of these teams playing lights out. They know what's at stake.
Yep. Great pass. That's what they need on a regular basis because look what happens. It doesn't matter, you know, whether it's put down with authority or played off the block. It has to keep the blockers honest. If they believe you can run a middle off that pass, that middle blocker has to wait to make sure that middle isn't run. Because the last thing you want to do on that is
how about
line.
that?
Wow. Schultz is just giving a demonstration of how to control the ball.
That was impressive. And I'm going to have to go back to the video on that one. That was close. But I know Cardinal will take it.
Yeah.
It's a point.
And swinging wide. Again, another.
Jessica Conklin just goes outside on that one.
And here again, you can start to see that the Berkshire Badgers are getting a little tentative here. They're trying hard not to make a mistake, and that's what you don't want to see.
Now here's what I talked about before this set. Berkshire has been able to climb out of all the holes they found themselves in. Cardinal hasn't been able to run away with it.
And here we go, a rebuke by the Cardinal defense.
This is another 4-point lead for Cardinal.
That's
They
right.
had a 4-point lead in the second set. They weren't able to hold it. Berkshire came back, tied it, went ahead, and then Cardinal came back. But Cardinal hasn't been able to put together the big run. They need to do it here in the fourth set to force that fifth set. And then you want to talk about tentativeness, you'll see it in the fifth set.
Right, that's right. Yeah, I mean, that's. I think you're right. It's key that they make a run here to kind of get the confidence they need to make, to finish this set.
If they can pull this set out and tie it at 2-2, that other side over there is going to start to think, uh-oh, here we go again.
Right.
This just happened to us 2 weeks ago. We let it slip away. And that's exactly what Cardinal wants to see. They want to see that other sideline kind of raise its eyebrow a little bit and say, "Oh."
This next point is the coach's point. If they get if Berkshire is able to get a side out here because of the coach's timeout,
right?
And there you go.
Yep. Take away that momentum.
Right. Exactly. That's a good call on a timeout by the coach for Berkshire there.
But now here's what Cardinal needs to do. They need to take this serve from McKenna Tusick.
Oh, there's a break
and
for
turn
Cardinal.
it into a, yes, they need a point.
Oh,
there it
she
is.
Sneaks it through. Oh my gosh.
Caitlin Lashane.
It doesn't look like a ball can fit in that opening, and she would manage to squeeze it through.
You know, I'll tell you, between Caitlin Lashane and McKenna Tusick, I'll bet you that the kill statistics are almost even, but Tusick's are so much louder. But you know what? It doesn't matter. They all count for 1 point.
Exactly. Great dig by Tusick on the other side there. And not enough to get it over.
So here's Cardinal's biggest lead of the match, 11-6, up 5.
Conklin's trying to figure out what to do here.
Block.
Oh, great up.
Wow, great play there by Lashane.
And a great,
how about that?
I was just going to say That was a great over-the-shoulder bump for a hit there, and I think LaBrae again jumped too soon. And
boy, did you see the look on her face? Oh, yeah, I planned it all the way.
Yeah, but still a good play. It still counts. Again, like you said, it doesn't have to be a thunderous slam. Nope. It just has to be in.
You don't get points for prettiness. Oh, good up. Sydney Mighton with the diving play there.
Good touch by the Badgers.
Feeding LaShane. I think that's 3 or 4 straight sets to LaShane.
There's a touch on the block. They're gonna, and again, both teams squaring off. Nobody's gonna give easily. Nice spot.
Boy, she found it.
Again, Schultz with that placement of the ball. If the player's out of position and she sees that, it's just as devastating as a thunderous hit by Tusick.
There's another timeout by the Badgers looking to stop this run.
That's right. Now the shoe's on the other foot.
That it is. Huskies feeling it, and they need it. You know, they've got nothing to lose right now. They've got to go 100%, give everything they've got.
And at the same time, the Badgers can't lose their cool either. If they want to stay in control of this match, they have to stay confident. They have to see, as far as hitting goes, they were the hardest hitting team here, and that Cardinal is a lot of dinking and dunking, and as long as the Badgers can stay with that and return some Tusick hits and get Sydney Mighton fired up, I think that they'll be able to hold on here and win.
Here we go, back in action. Maddie Bean with the serve. Nice movement on that ball. CJ Parker handles it. Sydney Mighton saves it, and Parker returns it.
Another good pass. Oh, miscommunication there. But when Maddie Bean doesn't have to run around after the ball, she's got a lot more options with it.
And that's what you want to see if you're Cardinal. Just let them push. There's Caitlin LaShane finding the corner. She's feeling it.
Uh-oh. The Huskies seem to be a little bit more alive than they were a few minutes ago.
Well, a little run will do that for you.
Yeah, at the same time, the Badgers have to start being concerned. They're getting into a little bit of a funk.
Boy, the block on Mighton. Point for the Huskies. How about that? That brought the student section to life again.
There you go.
I even see Superman throwing some punches in the corner. Bunch of Cardinal fans dressed up in Halloween costumes. But I think that's the real Superman.
Right, exactly. And I think now you're starting to see the Badgers play similar to how the Cardinals did in the last game. Cardinal team did in the last game. They're getting a little bit all over the place. The passes aren't quite where they need to be. Mia Monroe's having to chase it all over the court. And if they can get back to where they can set her, it's a different ball game. There, the block was split a little bit, and Sydney was able to punch it through on the inside hand of the outside blocker, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's been about 8 or 9 points now that Mighton has seen a good set.
Yeah.
She's had a couple back row hits, but nothing where she could really wind back and hit it.
Right. But that all starts with the pass.
Yep. Parker serving. She's given Cardinal some fits earlier. They handled that one well. Here comes a set to the middle.
Good dig.
Madison Chapman. Sydney Mighton with a nice up.
Oh, that's
and
an opening
Mighton
there.
finishes it. Yep.
That outside block didn't get up quite as high as she wanted to, that's for sure, and gave the line shot to Sydney Mighton. I think that Sydney Mighton's starting to heat up a little bit here. And again, the Huskies just got to make the pass. Nice hit.
Boy.
What a great dig and a hustle. Oh.
Wow, just nice all-around play right there.
Good effort on the Badgers. CJ Parker to hustle and try and get that one down. But there, again, the hitters are starting to open up a little. They're starting to cut loose. That's what you want to see if you're the coach. because you know your players are growing in confidence. And a confident player in this kind of a game is what you need. Running a stack. And the tip is enough to throw the Huskies off a little bit.
There's Mighton.
There's Mighton.
Can't give her too many of those looks.
Right, and the Huskies were just out of sorts on that whole volley, but, you know, here again, they just got to get back to the basics, you know, pass, set, kill, and they should be back into this.
Here's Brianna Pennypacker with the serve for the Badgers.
Great
handled
set,
by Schultz.
Or a great pass, I mean. And again, there we go.
See, now this is what I talked about earlier is Cardinal hasn't been able to sustain runs, and then when they were giving points to Berkshire, they weren't able to stop, and now they're responding right there. So it's okay. You can score 2 points, give up one, and then come back and score 2 more. That's a good ratio.
Lashane just had another great serve. The ball moved a little too much for Pennypacker to handle. But again, you know, looking at the pass that the Huskies made, they right on the dime, right to the slot to where the setter is most comfortable setting from. She has all of her options, and it ends with a point, basically, for off speed by Tusick, which has been a rarity as of late. And Schultz, again, not the hardest hitter out here for certain, but just ball control everywhere.
Well, you want the serve in Caitlin Lashane's hands. She's dangerous. Huskies are feeling it, up 20-9. Chapman carries.
That one, you know, I can't see from the angle how far back she was reaching, but she was on top of that.
Usually when you bend your hand like that and change direction of the ball, you're going to get called. Yeah. I remember that from my intramural days. Happened to me all the time.
Yeah, but you're not allowed to start at your waist.
They've got 22-9 on the board. Is that correct? I thought it was 21-9. Oh, there they go. They fixed it. 21-9.
Oh, great up. Way to keep it in play.
Wow.
That was a really hard hit by the Badgers. And the Badgers just having a hard time convincing the ref that they know how to play. I don't think that they're playing badly, and the ref might be a little bit ticky-tacky here, but
like I said, they've been consistent.
They've been consistent, right.
Cardinal had a few that I know their fans didn't like.
Exactly.
You know, as you said, every call, one side's going to like it, the other isn't.
Yep.
Oh, wow. Talk about just self-defense. Right. They almost turned it into a play over the net. Yeah. And now Cardinal's feeling pretty good here in the fourth set, up 23-9.
Berkshire is wishing they had a timeout here. I think they used both of them already.
Oh, and there it is.
And
how about that? Beautiful serve.
When do you want that $1 million serve? When it counts the most.
I'll tell you what, that's big. So here we go. Set point. Caitlin Lashane on the serve.
There's a good play. Mia Monroe set that stack really well. What I mean by stack, they fake the quick in the middle right off her back shoulder and set Sydney Mighton, who's coming right behind that first hitter. And it's tough for a blocker once they committed to going up to come back down and go back up again fast enough to do something about it. Another great pass. Kept alive, and Lashane just not able to get there. That was a good pass for the Huskies. Maddie Bean standing right where she wants to be standing when she's setting.
Tough situation to be in, though, if you're Berkshire. You've got to have a perfect serve. Certainly don't want to lose a set on a service error.
Hit wide by Lashane. You know, but they have a good server back there. You know?
They sure do.
And you can't make a tremendous comeback without a deficit like this. So we'll see if the Badgers have it in them. Again, the $1 million serve, it messes with everybody, and you don't want to be on the wrong end of that one.
So that's a good timeout by Cardinal, as you mentioned earlier. You want to try and take away some of that momentum.
Yep. And again, you have Sydney Mighton back there serving, 12 straight points isn't going to be a difficulty for her. She probably does it 10 times in practice. But
yeah, what you want to do is
warm up her.
Right.
You want her
to take out that she's in the flow of it. You want to take that away. It's like calling timeout before a field goal.
Right. So this is the coach's point, you know. If the coach calls a timeout and they get the side out, then that one's on the coach. None of the players will agree with that, but that's all right. And this is, you know, Sydney Mighton's cool as a cucumber right now, but this is a nerve-wracking situation for any server, and she's complicating it by doing the jump serve, which she should. That's her most effective serve. Great pass. And Schultz with the placement, but it's, I was going to say it was played up really well by Berkshire.
So here we go, folks.
The roller coaster ride continues.
It's 2-2. Who's going to go to the district finals and whose season will come to a close?
You can't write this stuff. And you're a sports writer.
I'll make it up.
Right.
I might have to.
You might not have to after today. What do you mean?
Yeah, this is exactly what I thought we'd see. It's been intense. It's been back and forth. You've had ups and downs on both teams. And now it comes down to who can make the less mistakes.
Well, here is where the attitude is everything, so to speak. You have two teams that are going to be playing in a high-pressure match. They're going to have to, you know, keep their cool, but still stay confident enough to you know, play the ball over hard and effectively. You don't want to get too much into a dinking contest with each other because you're not going to be able to win decisively. So whatever team comes out firing here is probably going to be the one that takes the early lead, and if they can hold on to it, it's you know, that might be it.
Well, we've got 2.5 minutes before we start the fifth set, and that set's going to go fast and furious, Tim.
Fifth set's to 15, correct?
That is correct.
Oh boy, there's not a lot of time to recover at this point. If your team is not in the game and firing effectively on all cylinders, this could be a tough one to recover.
Yeah, as I mentioned, 2 weeks ago at Berkshire, this is what happened to Cardinal. They came back and won the fourth set. And then they jumped out to a big lead. I think they were up 8-2 or 8-1, and Berkshire was never able to recover.
Well, today's the main test here. Everybody's this is win or go home, basically.
Yes, and it's win or turn your jerseys in.
That's right.
Because your season is over. It's been a long, fun ride, but I'll bet you everybody over there right now is hoping to play just a couple more days.
And think about what this means to the seniors on both teams. You know, this is going to be their last chance to play in front of their home crowd, so to speak. I mean, some of them may go on to college to play, and they'll have more fun there. But yeah, all the pressure's coming together for this one set in this one match where, you know, it's going to mean so much to one team in a good way and so much in another to the other. You
know, you mentioned it earlier, but it's much better to watch a game without that rooting interest or where you're not coaching.
Right.
Because imagine, you know, going into a fifth set like this with what's riding on it and how much pressure these kids are facing right now.
Right.
And the coaches are over there, you know, they're sweating and nervous. You don't know how things are going to play out.
That's right, and it's and I have to say thank you for inviting me to do this with you, because this is probably the most you know, enjoyable way to watch a game when you're not coaching for a team or or you know, have a kid on one of the teams or something.
And you get a good vantage point too. I like this. All right, so explain this to me, Tim. Looking over at the Berkshire sideline, we now have Brianna Pennypacker in the libero jersey, and C.J. Parker goes back to the purple. What is the benefit of making that switch?
Well, you know, it's generally a coach's decision. You can only have one libero per game. Coach might have felt that Pennypacker was doing a little bit better job, or potentially there might be injury concerns, or, you know, just switching things up because they got to find an answer for what the Huskies are throwing their way.
Well, we'll find out here in a moment if that strategy pays off. It all comes down to this. It's a race to 15.
That's right. Huskies have been pretty much with the same lineup the whole match.
All season long, I have seen in person 1 fifth set. So yeah, these are exciting.
Yeah, this is For those watching from home or from their computer at work, working the late night, this is what you want. It's a 5-game match, and you want your team to win, of course. But this is the best, the best way to enjoy volleyball.
Badgers, Huskies, it's 2-2. Game 5. Winner moves on to the district championship against against Newton Falls. That'll be played at LaBrae on Wednesday at 7 o'clock. Oh, there's a hitting error. Badgers go up 1-0.
Yep, LaShane just over-rotated on that one, wanted to cut it to the opposite corner and maybe even towards the 10-foot line a little too much, and it came up short.
Just cut it a little bit too much.
But that was a good pass by the Huskies there to keep it. Again, Maddie Bean doesn't have to do much.
Oh, how about that, Maddie Bean.
Right. And because she doesn't have to move that much, she has all of her options. And if that's happening...
Like a thief in the night.
Exactly. She can do anything she wants with it.
Boy, that was tricky.
And the same thing has to happen for the Badgers here. Again, Mia's got a great setup pass there. And the back one hit quick off her back shoulder goes for a point for the Badgers. So, as if it needed to be more exciting, they're going to just trade points here. Another good pass by the Husky.
Heck of a up by Madison Chapman. Boy.
This is just going to go back and forth, tug of war.
2-2. Haley Adams serving for Cardinal.
Nice spot.
She found that corner.
Again, that curve shot, it's a lot of like what Jordan Schultz is doing for the Huskies. But Sydney Mighton has a little bit more power behind it, but it definitely has a nice arch on it, a nice curve. Makes it difficult to defend. Oh, again. LaShane just not able to get it over that tape, and they take a timeout. Yep. They're running plays, though, which means that their passes are where the setter's comfortable to do that. On that time, the Huskies brought 2 hitters in simultaneously, one from the front, one from the back, both in the middle, trying to get the blockers to split up again, but LaShane just couldn't put that ball down.
I think this is an important timeout for Cardinal. It's 4-2. This isn't the game where you can afford to fall back by 3 or 4 or 5 points.
Right.
So it's a very important timeout. The Huskies got to come out of here and cut this lead and cut Berkshire's lead in half. 4-2. They need to go on a little run themselves.
And what Berkshire's looking to do is just hold off the Huskies here. You don't want to give them a chance. They're starting to close the door a little bit, and you want to keep that momentum in your favor. There's no shortage of excitement in this gym, though.
Tell you what, the temperature's raised quite a bit, too.
It's all the hot air that I'm spewing. Oh, great up by C.J. Parker.
A second back row hit by Sydney Knight.
Oh, boy. Wow, that was a great set by Maddie Bean, getting it all the way out to the antennas, making that blocker from Berkshire in the middle have to travel the entire distance.
Covering a lot of ground.
Right.
So here you go, Caitlin LaShane, top server for Cardinal. See what she can do. Oh, no.
Service error. That's a tough thing to have at this point in the game.
Yeah, that definitely hurts.
But both teams still in this. I mean.
Yep, 5-3. Just got to come back and get a point back. That's all. One at a time. Oh, there's a mistake.
That was a tough play. That pass was right on top of the net. And,
yeah.
And Maddie Bean was just trying to find a way to pop it up to her outside hitter. Again, Huskies got to put that ball in the middle more so that she can get a good set and they can run their whole offense.
Oh, and Sydney Mighton with the serve, too. It's not what you want to see. Nice point for Cardinal. It's 6-4, Berkshire.
Right. The Huskies handled that serve well because that one, jumped as soon as it hit the tape, but they were in position to make something out of it, and that's exactly what they did. Oh, boy, but another service error. And this is where the Huskies got to remain calm. just because that happened a few times now, it's not the end of the world here.
Right.
You gotta
forget about it and move on. It's like a defensive back that gives up a long touchdown pass or something like that. You got to forget about it and move on.
Right.
You can't go to the service line now, wondering if you're going to get it over the net.
Right. Because your team needs you to be confident. Just exchanging fire.
Oh, found a hole, Mia Monroe.
Yes. That was a great time to dump there. The Huskies were kind of standing flat-footed, waiting for the big hitter on the outside, and Mia just caught him completely off guard.
4-point lead for the Badgers here in the 5th set. And there's a service error for Madison Chapman that will make it 8-5. Tell you what, that's just what Cardinal needed.
Right. And Madison Chapman's mother's not going to like that one.
No. She's out there already glaring at me.
Right.
She's really not. I'm just making that up, but she is out there. She's too focused on the game.
Right. Jousting at the net, and the Berkshire Badgers come out on top, and they're celebrating here. Huskies got to dig in and make a stand right now.
Yes, they do. They got to get the side out, get a point, start climbing back into this. Berkshire students are into the game now. First time I've really heard them drowning out everybody else.
Good up and good pass.
Back row hit.
Oh. And Huskies take a second timeout, and the Badgers fans are feeling it.
Yes, they are. It's 10-5. Badger fans are up on their feet right now.
This is
when they see
the team, the Huskies. The team has to kind of help pick LaShane up. She's got a couple hitting errors here. It's not the end of the world, but they have to rally behind her and get her back into this ball game.
Yeah, what Cariska Chambers is saying to her team right now is it starts with one play.
Right.
That's all they need is just make one play, and then you make two, and from there it just steamrolls. And
exactly.
Got to pick it up.
And the Badgers aren't going to give them anything. They're gonna take as much as they can, and so the Huskies aren't going to get anything easily right now.
Set to Schultz.
Pass.
Good up by Mia Monroe. There's Tusick. Back row set to LaShane.
Right.
Oh boy, did they get a tip? Got the tip.
They call a tip on it. Down ref called a tip. I didn't see it, but
I didn't see it either, but I saw
the ball was definitely long.
Yeah.
But that's a break for the Badgers here. Again, Mia Monroe has been picking them apart, the Huskies apart with that little dink, and it starts with what the Huskies are giving to the Badgers. The Huskies really got to start swinging at this ball to make something happen.
$13-5.
And I believe the Huskies are out of timeouts.
Yep.
And I don't know that they want to sub anybody in at this point. It would slow the game down, but the team they're going to win with is here. Just too long. Maddie Bean had the right idea. She had everybody fooled on that one. Just sent it a little too far on the back set over the net.
So here we go, down to 1 point.
And they're a little raucous fans there. The ref was trying to keep them in line on game point here. Another free ball to the Badgers. Let's see what they do to it. Oh, it's up.
What an up.
And that silenced the crowd in a hurry.
Good defense. Get it over there, LaShane.
Nice
there we
spot.
go.
And the Badgers not able to recover from that. Wow, what an amazing up that was.
Up.
I mean, I just like everybody else in the gym, I thought that was the end of the match right there.
Yeah, and it very well could have been without that outstanding defensive play.
Yeah. Broken play here. Sydney Mighton wants it, and the Huskies are going to have nothing to do with that. I guess at this point, when it's all or nothing, the Huskies have Schultz in the back there, and she's...
Nothing you can do here but go for it.
Right. She's been 100% ball control all game, and that ball's dancing for her. Oh, tough play. Tusick splits the block and just tags the line on the way out. The Badgers came out on that one with an
heck of a game, 15-7. Berkshire wins the match 3-2. The Badgers will play Newton Falls on Wednesday for the district championship. But I will tell you, Cardinal has nothing to be ashamed of on what they accomplished this season.
That's true. I think that they played very well today. I mean, they had some rough spots throughout, but the tenacity that they showed to come back at every point in this match, to tie it up at ones and then to tie it up at twos throughout the match. You know, that's a lot of effort on their part, a lot of work. You got to have some. You got to be a tough customer to be able to pull that off.
Yep. Well, congratulations to Berkshire, and good luck to the Badgers on Wednesday. I'll tell you what, watching both teams tonight, Newton Falls and Berkshire tonight, that's going to be a powerful game on Wednesday. Both teams have a lot of height, a lot of power. They can bring it. I got to give the advantage to the Badgers, though. I think they have a little bit more depth and a little bit better defense, and the serving is going to help them on Wednesday.
And if their hitters get warmed up, you know, anybody on the other side of the court is going to have trouble dealing with that. So I think they did an excellent job, but can't take anything away from the Huskies. They played tough. They played, put their heart and soul into the game, diving all over the floor, running stuff down. I think it was a job well done for them.
Definitely hats off to them. I'll tell you what, I was a little bit surprised in what Cardinal was able to accomplish this year. When you lose two outstanding players like Alyssa Shirkey and Caitlin Bean, and you still win 20 games, you share the conference title, and here you are in a fifth set with Berkshire going, winner going to the district finals. They've got nothing to be ashamed of. I know there's a lot of emotion running high on that side right now, but outstanding game tonight. Hats off to Cardinal, hats off to Berkshire. They played very well. And before we get out of here, I want to thank our sponsors again, ScoreStream.com, OhioVarsity.com, Ward's Lawn Care and Landscape Company, and Athletic Performance Training Center. And, of course, Tim, I want to thank you for coming out. Great job tonight. I learned a little bit about volleyball from you, and it was outstanding. Hopefully we'll get together again and do some more volleyball here in the future.
That would be great. And thank you for having me out here, and I'm glad to be a part of such an awesome game that the people at home could watch live from OhioVarsity.com.
Yeah, and in 72 hours, this will be live, free on demand. So you'll be able to watch this game. We'll have some highlights out tonight, but I want to thank you all for tuning in. Tell your friends, and you can watch this game again, like I said, free on demand in 72 hours. It's a game that you'll want to see again and again. It was an outstanding game between two good teams. And with that, I want to thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.